Hello fellow human, hope you guys have a great day and let's read some entitled parent stories. To the first one. We are a pet sitting service, lady. Okay, buckle up, this is a doozy. I work for a pet/house sitting company and had a new client on my schedule for 3 visits a day for 2 weeks to take care of a dog. When I get into the house and I go in, I see a kid and thought they must be running late leaving and didn't let us know. So I said hi to the kid and said it's okay, don't be scared, then called out for the parents. The kid said that they are gone. I asked, what do you mean? The kid then said I needed to hurry up and make her breakfast and take her to school. I asked again, what do you mean? Where are your parents? She said they're gone on their trip and again told me to hurry up because she's hungry. I asked how old she is and she said 7. I asked, they left you here alone? And she said, yeah, her mom told her that we'd be by in the morning to make her breakfast and take her to school, in the afternoon to pick her up from school and make her a snack, and at night to make her supper. I asked, where's Macy, made up name the dog? And she said, they don't have a dog. I said when the owner came for the client meeting and to get the house keys, she met a dog. The kid said her mom borrowed the neighbor's dog. Oh my god! I called the company owner and told her what was going on. Of course, she was flabbergasted and came over immediately. She tried to get a hold of the kid's parents, but they weren't answering their phones, so she called CPS and explained everything when they got there. The CPS took the kid, the parents' info, and left. The next day, the kid's mom called the owner and left a rambling message, screaming about how could we turn her kid into the CPS and we broke the contract. So, they were going to sue her for that and also for the cost of their ruined vacation. The owner called them back and told them our agreement was to take care of a dog, not a kid, and that was illegal anyway. And also, borrowing a dog for her to meet for the client meeting was deliberate misinterpretation, so good luck with a lawsuit. She hasn't heard from them since. I guess our petting service was cheaper than hiring someone to watch the child properly. We still cannot understand how this woman thought this would actually work. Oh jeez, I'm in complete shock that some kind of parent would treat their child like that. The second story. Entitled mom shoves her kid into my classroom and runs. Not sure if this is entitled parents or choosing beggars, or maybe both. For context, in my late teens and early 20s, I ran a free after-school program for kids out of a community center. The program was for kids ages 8 to 12 whose parents were currently undergoing a messy divorce. We had a sister program next door for parents of the kids. It was part class, part community group, part group counseling. With the kids, myself and other volunteers discussed handling anger, prepared them for joint custody, changes in finances, what alimony and child support were, etc. The class was free, some of the materials were paid for by the center, and the rest I covered myself. I liked the class and it gave me a bit of padding on my resume, so I didn't mind buying snacks, coloring materials, and prizes for the kids. At the time, we were a few weeks into the class and I had 8 kids who were attending. 8 is a great number because do you know how many things comes in packs of 8? It meant I bought stuff in those 8 packs so each kid would have something and I didn't waste money on spares. So, this afternoon, the kids are coming in and this parent I haven't met with an unknown kid comes by and sort of just drops the kid off without a word to me or her child. It's been a few years, but here's the conversation I remember. Me, ma'am? Ma'am! Entitled mom, what? Me, hi, I don't think we've met. Your son isn't enrolled in this class currently, and you can't just drop him off with me. I was told this class is free. Me, well, it is, but it's not a daycare. You do have to enroll your child first at the beginning of the term. I can't watch any child who comes by. There are things I need to know, like allergies, emergency contacts. I kinda laugh. His name, perhaps? Well, you can ask me right now. Me, well, I'm sorry, but the class is starting right now, so I can't. But you can enroll him in the next term. You can find information on how to do that at insert information. Rolling her eyes. I have an appointment. Can't you just take him? For the record, the parents were supposed to be enrolled in the class across the hall, not just use us for free childcare. Me, well, I can't. Besides, I didn't know I'd have another student today, so I don't have enough supplies or snacks for him.
M. Oh, he doesn't need any snacks. He won't mind.
Me. Ma'am, of course he's going to mind that all the kids eating Nutella snack packs and Carpi Suns, and that all other kids have workbooks and he doesn't. It's not fair for him. Besides, it's not really safe for me to watch a child that I have no information for, so you can sign him up for the next term.
M. Gets all huffy. Fine.
M grabs her kids and storms off, and that was the end of it, or so I thought. A few minutes later, I'm working with the kids and another volunteer is setting up for our next activity. The door opens a crack, the same kid as before is shoved in, and the door slams. The other volunteer and I share a what the duck look, but I open the door and look out, and the entitled mom is booking it down the hallway. Me, ma'am?
M. Yelling without turning around. I'll be back in a few hours.
Me, never mind, the class is only an hour long, half running after her. Ma'am, if you don't come and collect your son, I will call the police about an unaccompanied minor. He won't be here when you get back.
M. Stops, signs, turns around and pegs me with a glare. You are being so inflexible. This is terrible customer service.
Me, well, you're not a customer. Please take care of your son. Entitled mother grabs her kid's hand and starts storming off while yelling,
I can't believe you would call the police on a child. What kind of teacher are you? I'm going to tell your boss about how horrible you were to me and my son.
Well, to this day, I wonder if she attempted to talk to my boss about my behavior, or imagining the look on her face when she found out the boss of the program was me. Truth be told, you weren't going to call the cops on a child, you were going to call the cops on her. The third story. Halloween entitled mother sees porch light off, doesn't give a crap, proceeds to ring my bell over and over, and then has a cow when I don't have candy. I'm a migraine sufferer, and they pop up at the worst possible times. One Halloween a few years ago, I had a terrible one and had to ditch the idea of answering the door for trick-or-treaters. Since I was so sensitive to light and noise, I turned off our porch light, other house lights, and went to bed. As soon as it got dark, it started. My doorbell ringing over and over, even though there were no lights on in the house. Every time it happened, my dogs would go nuts, making even more noise and making me hurt even more. I ignored it for as long as I could, but when someone leaned on the doorbell and rang it over and over and over again, I finally flew out of the bed and ripped the door open ready to go off. I expected a kid to be the one ringing the bell, but it was a Karen. M. Behind her were two little kids dressed adorably, holding pillowcases. Me. What the duck, lady? Porch light off is the international sign for no candy. M acts as if she's unearthed an amazing secret.
I knew you were home.
She shoos the kid up to me, and they yelled out trick or treat and throws their pillowcases at me. I had a huge bag of candy in the kitchen, but I was so upset I totally forgot about it. Me. Girls, I'm sorry, but I don't have any candy. That's why my porch light was off. To M, I say, I don't feel well. I purposely turned off my lights so that I wouldn't have to be disturbed by children tonight. You should not be knocking on doors with no lights on.
M. It's Halloween. Surely you can suck it up for a few hours to do something that makes children smile. How can you not have any candy? I'm sure you have something in your kitchen you can give them.
My head is throbbing, and I cannot believe this woman. Me. Something in my kitchen?
M. Yes, what else do you have that you can give them since you weren't prepared?
The kids sense that I'm frustrated and angry. They start to walk down the driveway away from us, hoping their mom will follow them to a house that actually has candy. Me. You better go get your kids. They're leaving.
M. Not until you give them something. They're out that. It's Halloween, you selfish tramp.
She calls them to come back to the porch. They reluctantly wander closer. Me. Okay, fine. I got a bottle of ketchup or a box of noodles. Or how about a frozen burrito or a pack of oatmeal? Does that fit your criteria? Get off my property. This is absurd.
M. You're the absurd one. My kids deserve Halloween treats and you couldn't even bother to pick any up. I'm going to tell other parents about you so they avoid your house.
I laughed out loud. Oh, what? Promise? Yay! Thanks. That would be very helpful. And I slammed the door in her face. I did feel bad for her kiddos. They got a crappy butt mom. Well, definitely go for a sign if it happens again. Sorry, very ill, no trick or treat here. The fourth story. Em may have endangered her child because she wouldn't listen. I work in an ice cream parlor in a tourist zone of my town. Weekends are absolute nightmare for us because out of the sheer amount of people coming in. On one special and magical day, Em comes in with 3 kids. There was nothing about her that could have warned me that she was a Karen. 2 of her kids looked not much older than 5. I'm really bad at guessing people's age, especially kids, and the other one could have been older than 3. The kids were, as expected, attracted to our most colorful choices of ice cream. All of them are almost pure sugar and chemical flavors. The older kids ask for 2 scoops, and I know for a fact that 2 scoops is too much for them since our serving size are absolutely huge. So I tell the mom I'll make 1 scoop, and she'll see whether or not she wants to pay for 2. She insisted that I do whatever her kids want, so I obliged. I don't care if you pay $7 on a cone or your kid won't even eat half of it. The real problem came when the youngest kid, a cute little girl, wanted the blue ice cream, bubblegum. I warned Em that the bubblegum ice cream contains full-size bubblegums and there is a risk of choking for small kids. She responded something along the lines of, "Oh, it's okay, she's old enough, and anyway, there's no warning, so I'm sure you're exaggerating." Me, shows her one of the bubblegums. Getting frustrated. "Just don't put any in her ice cream." Me, "Well, it's impossible. They're already in the ice cream and I cannot guarantee there won't be any in the scoops I give her." "I don't care. Just give her what she wants or I'll make a complaint." My manager is the sweetest boss I've ever had and she always back up her employees when a client acts entitled. So it wasn't much of a threat, yet I still give her the ice cream because I was only 2 hours into my shift and I had 6 more coming and I didn't want any drama this early. As soon as little girl, LG, got her ice cream, she went on to join her brothers who were on the other side of the shop eating their super kid ice creams. When it was time to pay, Em started arguing about the prices. Keep in mind that I had warned her about the price of her son's cones earlier, but I guess she wasn't interested in the saying of a low-life ice cream parlor employee. Impossible! 4 ice creams cannot be worth that much. You're trying to scam me. Me, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but those are our prices. The prices on the boards behind me do not include the taxes." I don't care about the taxes. How can 4 ice cream be worth $26? Me, "Well, your sons both took 2 scoops, which is $6 each, plus they took waffle cones, which are $1 each, so they were already at $14. You took 2 scoops on a sugar cone, so $675 more, and your daughter had 1 scoop for $4.25, plus extra candies, $1. It gives a total of $26. This is ridiculous. Who charges for the waffle cones anyway? Those regular cones are disgusting. No one wants that. The cones should be free. Me, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I do not do the prices. This is what it is. Now, will you pay cash or card?" I was harsh enough in my tone that she understood she wouldn't win this argument with me. She got out a card and pouted. "I'll pay Visa." While she was taking her sweet time, I just happened to take a look around the line of customer waiting, and something caught my eyes and my heart sank. LG was as blue as her ice cream, and her brother were frantically slapping her in the back trying to help her. I flew over the counter and pushed oblivious people aside to reach the poor girl. I bent down and told her I was going to help. I will never forget the look in her eyes. She was desperate. I immediately started the Heimlich procedure. I looked at my coworker dead in the eyes and yelled, "Go call an ambulance!" I told a regular customer, who was friend with my boss, "Go get Julie," fake name. As I was still trying to save LG, I started to panic. She still wasn't breathing. Then Em came up to me and started yelling at me. I was too focused on my task to hear her, but my coworker said that she was yelling that I was hurting her daughter. She even tried to stop me, but a customer who knew I was doing the best I could stopped her. My manager finally arrived and jumped on her knees next to me. She asked me to hand LG over, and I did. LG was as limp as a rag doll by that time. My manager jammed a finger in LG's mouth and successfully dislodged the freaking bubblegum out of LG's throat. My manager is a retired nurse and she knew what she was doing. LG coughed and gasped, but she wasn't responsive. She was breathing, but her eyes were half closed. She wasn't crying like a 3-year-old would after such a traumatic event. Em just stood there yelling at us, not once, trying to reach and hug her own daughter. My manager held LG and tried to communicate with her. Em, screaming, "What did you do to my baby girl?" Me, very angry from the experience, she was choking. Em, "Liar! She's a big girl now. She knows how to eat. You just hurt her." Me, "I was doing the Heimlich procedure, you moron." I stood up, angry, not willing to take any more crap from that entitled mother. She choked on the bubble gum, and I warned you about the danger. Em was choked by my extreme anger and took a step back. I guess my yelling got the attention of the dad, D, who was waiting outside because he suddenly appeared out of nowhere asking what was going on. Em walked behind him and said, "This girl hurt our daughter, and now she's trying to attack me." Dad, "What? Where's LG?" I pointed to her and said, "Me, well, she over here. She was choking on a bubble gum, and I tried to help." The dad was apparently a way better parent than M because he rushed to his daughter and held her in his arms. The paramedic arrived and examined her. She was still in crisis. Her brain was without oxygen for who knows how long. While the paramedic were working on her, the police also arrived. Apparently, M had called them during the panic. M tried to convince them that I hurt LG, but every customer present at the scene, along with employees and the camera, were there to back me up. Then she changed her story and claimed that I purposefully gave LG a dangerous ice cream without warning her. But again, I had proof that I showed her a bubblegum, and the camera also shows her "I don't care" gesture. Dad was livid at M. He yelled at her that this is all her fault and that she was always like that, and this time she went too far. Dad, you put our daughter in serious danger. Would it kill you to give crap about them for once? I'm assuming he meant their kids. Anne started crying and saying that it wasn't her fault and that I was the one who hurt LG. Dad got in the ambulance with LG and Em got a fine for calling the police under false claims. She left with her 2 sons looking down. I think she had just realized what had happened because she was pale as a ghost. I don't know what happened to LG, and I never really asked my manager if Em sued our shop for the event or not, but I was traumatized for weeks. Having someone's life in your hands is not a glorious feeling at all, especially a young kid like LG. I have a small hope that she's fine, but I still remember her lying lifeless as the paramedic tried to talk to her. I feel so guilty for giving her the ice cream. Well, this is totally the Karen's fault. She chose to take the ice cream anyway. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.